Okay, I've been having a couple of mic issues. You guys don't know, I haven't been streaming recently. I recently was moving, um, into my new apartment, which I'm very excited for, but I haven't had time to set everything up just yet. So I have had a couple of sound issues, but I wanted to, this strat I've kind of come up with a little bit. I have a friend that's doing all Graces no hit, which is a really cool run. But there's an issue. There's a Grace over here next to this Mausoleum that you have to get, which is kind of a pain with the Mausoleum shooting at you. So I've kind of been testing, and I think I have a decent strat. The green lines are event hitboxes, by the way. So here's what I've been doing. I'll try and explain it as I go. But I started the Ordina Grace, of course. I like to use Gambit right here, and I don't really know how all of this works, but basically I use Gambit because there's a couple wolves here and there's an archer on the other side, and then there's some land squids we run into. But like, if you have the beast torch, I think that works just fine. So coming up, you obviously can see this Mausoleum here. And I've been working on all bosses, and so I kind of have a little bit of knowledge here, but if you hug this wall all the way around, the Mausoleum doesn't aggro. I do not know why, but what I've been doing is I stop about here. It doesn't really matter. We're just in this area somewhere, and I reuse Gambit. And then I make my way around, and the reason we use Gambit is to avoid the octopuses up here. Octopi, I guess, not octopuses, my bad. And I don't know why this works, because I believe we're in the Mausoleum's event region here. But it doesn't aggro, and of course if you go out too much in aggro's, I think you can just warp out. I don't think you're in combat, or you can just bone out. That also works. But basically I come over here to the very end, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna Gambit again, because there's another land octopus down there, and there's that one over there that we run past, and you're gonna want to run to this rock right here. I'll show you guys when we get there, but we're like not in the event region, even though we run through it. It still doesn't aggro him. I don't know why that works, but it does. And you want to stay as close to this edge as you get. And again, if you go a little too far out and you aggro him, you can just bone out or warp out or something. So I reapply Gambit, get on Torrent, and I've been running along this ledge, kind of just staying as close to the edge as you can without falling. And we get up here, and you can see we very obviously passed through that box, right? But the Mausoleum is not aggroed. We didn't trigger him, and we're not in the event box right now. I do not understand why this works, but it does. This part is pretty consistent. I haven't really had any issues with it yet. It's this next bit that's a little weird. You don't have to Gambit again. I don't really think these two octopi up here are an issue. But basically you run up here, and I've been stopping right here on this ledge right here, and I run into the corner into the first wave of explosions, and then I jump up. And this part I think is slightly RNG based. I'm not 100% sure. But I think the way it works is with this Mausoleum, when it gets triggered, it pops up all these blue orbs, and the blue orbs like sit for a second, and I think the blue orb tracks you, and then when it explodes, the missiles go to where you were, like when the orb was tracking. Like, I don't think the missiles actively track you. So I think I could be completely wrong on this, because it's not 100% consistent yet. I think what happens is when we go into this event box right here, we trigger the Mausoleum, and he starts tracking us until we get like close to that ledge, and then once we get up to the top, he's not tracking us, so the missiles don't hit us, and then we run. And I'll try and show this in best detail that I can, but there's a specific blue orb I look at, and once it explodes, I change my path at the top. So I'm just gonna run through it real quick and try and show you guys what it looks like. But basically, I've been running this way, and this needs some work. It's not 100% consistent, but it does seem decent at least. So some of these explosions get close, but basically we just wait until after this first wave. Like, see, that's pretty close, dude. But basically wait for after the first wave, then go. And you want to look at it's the second or the I guess it's the first orb over there. See, like I think I messed up right there. I think I went a little bit early. So I think this part is slightly more consistent, but I'm not really sure. I do have a file. I've been using a save file mostly. It's not 100% consistent, obviously, because it's a save file, but I wanted to show that first bit at least. I think that first bit is 100% consistent. And I think I've gone late a couple times now, which is riskier. It messes it up a little bit, but I think if you go at the right time, it is consistent. So let me just try again and see. So yeah, you come up here and you just wait for these explosions, and like they get pretty close to you. Like I don't think this is 100% safe, but I think it's better. I mean, I have been hit here once or twice, but I think it's better. And then you go, and once that second one explodes, or that first one, we turn slightly to the left. So we're gonna want to run to the church first and then turn slightly left. And there's always one that explodes like right here-ish, and there's usually one that explodes a little bit behind you. And then you wait here and he stops and you can go get the grace. So, I mean, obviously I got hit. I think that was my own mistake. I think I just went a little bit late. It's just, I don't know. This is obviously very, very sketchy, but I do think it is mostly consistent. Let me pull out the bow real quick. I'll point to the orb I'm talking about. Like on the farmost right side, there's one in the front and one in the back. You're going to want to run straight towards the church until the one in the front explodes, and then you want to run slightly left. So I can point out the one. Obviously, I'm going to die if I point it out with the bow, but I'll try and point it out at least. Like, see, these explosions just get so close. But yeah, that's the last wave right there. That one. This one right here, it just exploded. That's the one you want to look at. Once that explodes, you turn slightly left, and I think it's safe. Not 100% sure, of course, but I think it is slightly safe. Mostly safe, maybe. But yeah, I'll do it again. I've been having pretty good success with this. I'd say I've tested it, like, I don't know, maybe like 20 times, and it's only failed like 3 or 4, maybe? Excluding, like, if you're not including my mess-ups. So we can go ahead and go now, and then run straight towards the church. Once that one explodes, we run left. And then you can turn towards the church. But the reason I say that is because there's always been one that explodes like in this general area. And then I think there's one that explodes behind you. But I think it is safe. Strangely enough, I think it is safe. This is obviously not the greatest strategy, but I think it's at least the start of something good. So I kind of just wanted to get this out here for more testing, and to kind of show people that like something is possible here. And obviously this is not like something you would usually do for no hit runs. Like there's not an item over here or anything. It's just for like an all graces run. Like you see that one got pretty close. There's a lot that get really close to us. Those can hit you, by the way. I think. Not 100% sure, but I think they like can actually hit you, which is kind of scary. But like in that area is the scary part. I think this section up here is 100%. I think it's just the ledge that's not 100%. Because like I don't know, I've made it to this every time if I've gotten up, except for if I've timed it wrong. I think the timing is a little bit tight. But I kind of just wanted to show that and get it out there so other people can maybe come up with some better strats. I think this is something maybe. But yeah, I'm mostly recording this for a friend to try and help him with his run. But if anyone else wants to do a run like this or is having trouble getting to this side of grace, then you can totally use this strat. Again, I don't think it's 100%, but I think it's pretty close to 100%. The only sketchy part is that ledge right there. I've been hit there a couple of times. But other than that, I think it's really consistent so far. But yeah, I just want to make this so other people could see it, and I hope we can come up with a better strat for this. There's not a huge reason to go here unless you're getting all graces again, but you know, it'd be cool to at least have that be a more realistic thing, I'd say. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this. I hope it helps you out, and good luck in your runs.